everyone, welcome to another video. We are continuing with the group predictions, and this group prediction will be for SHINee. In the description below, I will have the questions that we're answering in this video, as well as the timestamps in case you want to jump around to whichever question you are interested in. But with all of that said, let's just jump into the first question, which is, what is SHINee's current energy? So we have the Knight of Cups. I'll take it sideways because it kind of came out like that. Let's see, what is the group's current energy? We have the Hangman upright, the Star reverse, and the Sun reverse. Yeah. 17 and 19. I thought they were right next to each other, but no, I forget that the moon is between the star and the sun. So we have a lot of big cards for the group. We have 3 major arcana out of the 4, and then 1 court card, which is also quite significant as well. So with the Knight of Cups, with it sideways, I see it as like a blockage, and one of the blockages that the group is having is the lack of opportunities that are being presented to them. So maybe many of them may feel a bit stagnant, or may feel like they're not getting a lot of the opportunities or projects or resources that they wish that they could get. Now, this is like the energy they have as a whole. Doesn't mean that they're all experiencing this at the same time or together. So what I mean by this is that I'm seeing them as a unit, but of course many of them are still doing their solo stuff and going their own way, their own path, doing their own projects. So they don't have to be experiencing the same issues. It's just that this is like the common thread or the common pattern that all of them are, even if they're experiencing it individually. So this Knight of Cups sideways just makes me think that one of the blockages the group is getting is that they're not really getting opportunities that they feel that will work for them, because the Knight of Cups talks about an offer that comes from the heart, so it's genuine, it's very sincere. The Knight of Cups could also talk about someone that is very romantic, so that is if we talk about romance. In this case, I am just talking in general, so I do feel that this just talks about that maybe many of them don't really feel like they have a good support system when it comes like to staff, or maybe when it comes to just opportunities with the industry, or maybe one of the issues that they're encountering is that they are not really connecting to people the way that they could, or they feel that will benefit them in their career. So maybe they know a lot of people and they do have a lot of connections, but maybe some of them are lacking a little bit more of this intimate, personal connections with people. So maybe they feel it's all business nowadays, or maybe they feel like since everything's just business, we're not really getting opportunities that could benefit us and that come from a very good place. So it's like, I was working on this project and I was thinking that you will be the best option, or that, you know, all I'm getting is that there's something that is missing for them, and that's kind of like an obstacle at the moment. So maybe some of them maybe are struggling to just make connections and socializing with people in the way that will satisfy them emotionally and spiritually even. So maybe they feel a bit stagnant, like they can't move forward because something within the emotional aspect of them is not really working. Regardless, the other cards that we have here, the Hangman reverse the Hangman upright is actually a very good card to have. It talks about someone that is taking its Neptune energy, which is the ruler of Pisces, and the Knight of Cups is Pisces energy. So I'm just seeing that as like grouping those together. But the Hangman reverse, I keep saying that it's reverse, it's not. So the Hangman talks about someone that is going out of their way to see things differently, someone that is putting themselves in a position that makes them and forces them to see things differently, and this different way of seeing things gives them a new point of view, a new way of seeing things that allows them to get this new perspective, which makes it easier to understand either the situation that they're in or maybe the people that they're dealing with. Neptune is a planet that talks about mystery, and it could talk about illusions. So with this Hangman, it just makes me think of someone that maybe is doing something a bit different, or is doing something a bit unexpected of them, or in the situation that they're in. So it could come off as a bit quirky, but it has to be done in order to see the situation for what it is. It's like opening your mind, opening up your horizons. It's like, let me see the situation for what it is by trying to understand all this point of view, all this perspective. So this hangman just shows that right now the group is putting themselves in a position that is, it might be a bit strange, but it's giving them a lot of perspective, and it's allowing them to see the situation better, which will give them the knowledge and the information that they need in order to make a better decision, or to just to make, yeah, I guess just make the decisions that fit the best for them, or that will benefit them the best. Now, the two cards that we have reversed is the Star and the Sun reverse. So with the Star, we have Aquarius energy, and with the Sun, we have Leo energy, which are opposing signs or sister signs, meaning that we are talking about polar opposites of sorts, people that may have similar interests but have completely different approaches to them, and also very different focuses. So Aquarius talks about the community, very humanitarian, is like prioritizing the community and everybody else, in the sense of like, what is the best course of action for all of us as a unit. And Leo can be a bit more self-centered, and is like, what is the best thing for me? Let me look out for myself and let me prioritize myself. Even though Leo energy is very generous, they will focus on themselves first, and then the generosity is the overabundance and overflowing love that they have from them for themselves. So it's like, I'm doing well, now I can take care of you, or like, now I can provide some energy towards this other people that they care about. Again, Leo energy is also super loyal, but in contrast to Aquarius, that it could be a bit more detached from needing any intimate or personal relationships with others. It's like, let me just help the community from the idea of helping the community, right? It could also be a sign of justice, in the sense of like rebelling against the status quo, trying to think outside the box, which kind of connects a little bit with a hangman of like seeing things differently, right? So anyway, how does this connect to the group? Right now, if you combine both of these cards, so the Star reverse could talk about someone that feels a bit lost. They don't see like this silver lining, so they may feel like they're stagnant. The Star reverse could also mean that they may feel like they're in a situation where they don't see how their dreams are going to come true. So they may feel a bit disillusioned. They may feel that stagnation that they feel is causing them to not be super hopeful about the future or about their goals. Like, they may feel like whatever they're dreaming of is not going to come true, because at that moment nothing is happening and everything is kind of at a standstill. So they may feel very discouraged in that sense. And the Star card also talks about having a balance between the untangible spiritual side of things and then the 3D world. So it's like being able to daydream and think big, but also being able to ground that energy in order to know realistically what can you do to make those dreams come true or make them a reality. So again, this card in reverse just kind of shows that the stagnation that they feel could be the reason why they kind of have to go out of their way to try to see different points of view in different ways, or like a different approach to accomplish what they want to accomplish. Now, the Sun reverse, even if it's reversed, is still a very positive card. It is a card that maybe at the moment they don't feel very positive, they don't feel very abundant, and maybe they don't feel very energetic, like, oh, things are gonna work out. So they like the optimism and the positivity the Sun usually talks about. But there is a sense of like, even if they themselves don't see the positivity, even if they themselves at the moment feel very stagnant and that there's no hope, the Sun here shows that there is. They just don't see it at the moment. Right now, they don't feel it. They don't realize that the stagnation is to their favor. They don't realize that having to do things differently is also for their favor. It's like this idea of like, they may be taking things a little bit for granted, or maybe they don't notice or realize that even in these moments of hardships, is still filled with life lessons that can benefit them and give them the skills for a brighter future, and also getting them a step closer to their goals and their dreams. It's just that it's coming from an unexpected way. So this makes me think of those times where like you feel like everything is not working in your favor, but in reality, by the end of it, you realize, wait a minute, I already did the work that I needed to do in order to accomplish my goal. It's just that I didn't see it at the moment. So I do feel that's something that the group could be could experience, or could be experiencing right now. So yeah, the reason why they may feel a bit stagnant is because, yes, things are not really moving, but it could be for a reason of like behind the scenes things are happening, they just don't notice it at the moment. With that said, let's jump into the second question, which is the group prediction for SHINee. So what is in store for SHINee this 2025? So we have a full moon in Aries with a fiery climate approaches. So this Aries energy just talks about this exciting, genuine, filled with passion and impulse. This energy that is filling them with a lot of positivity, in the sense of like, there's no impossibles, there's nothing holding me back. This energy of prioritizing themselves, their goals, and something where whatever actions they're taking is a reflection of how they see themselves. So this 2024 this 2025, it seems like the group's career is going to be filled with a lot of excitement, a lot of things that are happening. I will say this though, that even though a lot of things are happening and it's something that they've always wanted, and they're going to be quite busy having to just take action and take advantage of these opportunities, I think that many of them will come very unexpectedly, because as Aries is very spontaneous. So I do feel that a lot of these opportunities will come out of nowhere, out of left field, in such a way that since they don't see these opportunities coming, even if right now the group is in an energy where they're trying to broaden and open up their mind and broaden their perspective and their point of view, they're not going to notice these opportunities, because it's like the moment someone thinks of this project or thinks of giving them this opportunity, it's being offered to them and presented to them. So there was not enough like planning for them to kind of get a heads up. It just happens. So that could be one of the reasons why at the moment the energy feels stagnant, but there is maybe offers aren't coming through at the moment, but that's because when it happens, it'll happen. It's just that at the moment there's nothing yet. But they don't, it's like, it's not of those times that it's like someone's thinking about it and then it takes some time for things to work out. No, it's like the moment someone thinks about it, it's going to manifest. So now let's go on to the third question, which is the individual predictions. So I'll go in age order, and I'll start with Onyu and figure out what's in store for his career this 2025. So we have homeless, real estate, and then collaboration. So remember how in the group prediction I mentioned that they felt like there weren't opportunities given their way? This homeless card just makes me think that Onyu will be one of those people that are feeling a bit left out. To me, the homeless card just became the Five of Pentacles, which is the whole idea of being left out on your own, having to fend for yourself. It's like you feel like that you lack the material possessions or resources to do what you want. So I don't think that he's actually homeless as much, which is funny though that the real estate card is right next to it though. But this year for his career, he's going to feel that he still has to do things on his own, that he still has to fend for himself, that he has to still do a lot of work before he gets in a position where he feels comfortable enough to say, okay, things are working smoothly, things are not automatic, autonomous. I'm getting a word that kind of sounds like that. Well, anyway, but things are just kind of like, they just kind of go on their own, and he doesn't have to pay much attention or do much of his own thing to make things work. So there's something like there's this sense of, at the moment, he feels like he has a lot of work on his plate, a lot of responsibilities, and a lot of things that he has to like oversee before anything can actually function. But with the real estate, it feels like he will eventually, this year, he will eventually get a bit more of like this stable, secure, grounded energy. Either he makes a contract with someone that is helping him out, or he establishes or closes a project that will be very promising in order for him to feel a bit more stable and not feel like he has to do everything on his own, or that there's all of these responsibilities that he has to take care of. It's at the moment he feels like there's just so much going on and so many things that he has to do that he can't rely on others. But the real estate just makes me think that eventually he will encounter someone that he may have a project with or a contract with that will lighten a little bit of those responsibilities he has to take care of. And then the collaboration just kind of emphasizes the whole idea of like working with a different team. Who knows, maybe he changes companies, or he just writes a contract with someone or with a group that will allow it will allow him to feel a bit more relief that he doesn't have to do as much on his own. So yeah, the collaboration is something that he's looking for, and he will find that this 2025, which will benefit his career because now he doesn't have to like overwork himself for no reason. Now the next person is Key. So what's in store for Key's career this 2025? We have Live and Learn. So for Key, it feels like this year he's just going to do what he has to do. I'll just put it here. He's just experiencing life, learning the lessons that he has to learn. He's not really doing anything different this year as much as he's learning more, he's gathering more knowledge. But to me, the Live and Learn is just the energy of like just experiencing life for what it is. It's like if there's a problem, you don't make it a bigger deal. You just learn the lesson that you have to learn and you keep moving. If there's something that you want, you go for it. If there's something that you don't know about, you learn what you need to learn and then continue forward. So to me, the Live and Learn is the energy of someone that is just experiencing life and just living life the way that it's meant to be lived, which is just experiencing it. There's no need to make things bigger than they are. There's no need to overcomplicate problems, or there's no need to resist anything. It's just like if you don't know something or there's something in the unknown that you're scared of, you just kind of go like, well, whatever, let's just go for it and see what happens. So it's kind of like the Fool energy in tarot. The Fool is supposed to talk about a new beginning of someone that just trusts that spirit has their back and that they can take that risk or take that leap of faith and just start a new project with no fear. So yeah, the Live and Learn just makes me think that Key this year in 2025, he's just going to go on about his year like he usually does. And if anything, he will just learn more in such a way that will help him kind of expand into new concepts or new ways of doing something, or just give him the experience or the knowledge necessary to do things slightly different. But again, no fear, no resistance, and no pushback were the words that came back. So again, this year he's not going to allow fear or the unknown to kind of scare him from going on about his life. If anything, he's just thinking of moving forward, expanding, and learning. Now let's go on to the next person, which is Minho. So what's the score for Minho's career this 2025? So a couple of cards came out. We have Riot and Illness. We have Overload and Nightmare. So this year, he's going to have a lot of work to the point that he could end up feeling sick. So the overloaded nightmare makes me think of someone that is very stressed to the point of having maybe even anxiety. Someone that is doing too much and not resting enough could also lead to this unnecessary stress to the physical body, to the mental one, and then it affects the emotional one as well. So I do feel that this year, I mean, the right card so this one right here makes me think that maybe there's like a promise or a contract that Minho is trying to fulfill, or there's some manifestation that he wants to create into a reality, and he's like overcompensating by doing more than he has to. So instead of allowing some opportunities or some projects to just yield the results that they have to yield, is like allowing the fruits of your labor to just kind of nurture themselves. It's like, since he doesn't have the patience to make that happen, he's just constantly thinking, what can I do to make this, to push this forward, to make it a success, to make it possible, to just complete this project. And because of that, I think he's taking a lot more work than he has to, or putting a lot more pressure on himself than he needs to put pressure on. And because of that, this year he may end up getting sick quite often, because you know how they say that stress could lower your immunity, your immune system, that's what I mean. And because of that, also that stress could get in the way of his sleeping schedule, and all of that is just creating not only like the mental stress, but also like the physical stress on his body of like not being well rested and taken care of. So this year it makes me think that for Minho's career, he's going to overwork himself because there's something that he wants to do or something he wants to accomplish, to the point that he's creating just this unnecessary stress that could affect his body as well, because he's just not really taking care of it. So if anything, the warning here is like, he doesn't have to do as much for his dreams to come true or for things to become a reality. So he should pace himself accordingly. And when he's resting, he'll notice that his work is flourishing and manifesting even when he is taking a step back. So there is a sense that he has to learn this lesson where, yes, there's work that he has to do if he wants his projects to come through. But then there's times that he needs to take a step back to allow the results of this project to just shine through as well. Like, he doesn't have to force that. He doesn't have to do anything at that point. It's like, do your work, complete the project, and then just send it out into the world. So it just gives the results that it has to give. Like, at that point, he doesn't have control over it, so he doesn't have to go above and beyond at that point. He can just continue resting so that he's ready for the next project or ready for the next thing that he wants to do. So he just needs to pace himself appropriately this year. Lastly, let's go to Taming and figure out what's in store for Taming's career this 2025. So we have luck. Let's start with that one. Oh. And then we have blessings. Let's go with those two. I was gonna just put them back and shuffle, but I was like, yeah, let's just take the bottom of the chunks of cards that were kind of facing up. Facing up meaning like towards us. So for Taming's career this 2025, we have luck and blessings. So this just shows that there's a lot of good fortune for him this year. This year might be his for sure. So the luck card shows this check. So that makes me think that he's going to win the lottery. So that could mean that either he actually earns a lot of money this year, or there's an opportunity that he feels very lucky that it entered his life or that he got through with it. So maybe there's a project that he always wanted to work on, and then things just work in his favor, and he feels very blessed about that. Blessing. I guess that works, right? And with the blessing card, it just shows that he like his spiritual team or his higher self, or maybe if he put out into the universe, I want this. It feels like it will echo back to him, and he will realize, oh, it's happening. So I don't know if we will see the tangible things of like it happens, or he will just have the reassurance that something that he wants to accomplish this year, he will have the reassurance that with time he will definitely make it happen. I don't know how big of a goal this is, but the blessing card just makes me think that he feels supported. He feels like, how should I put it? It feels like he has this inner knowing or this understanding that the universe is on his side, that spirit is on his side. So something about like fate and destiny is in his favor. So he feels blessed. He feels taken care of. He feels like if there's something that he wants, there will, like, everything will set itself in a way that will benefit him. So if there's a goal that he wants, all of a sudden the people are there, the resources are there, the time is there, the energy is there. Like, all of a sudden everything just kind of aligns itself perfectly for him to be able to accomplish whatever he wants to accomplish. So this blessing card just makes me think that he feels like fate and destiny are on his side, and it will benefit him a lot. And because of that, this luck card makes me think that he will feel very grateful towards his blessings, and he will not take them for granted. So he will just take all of these opportunities to his best benefit. Something along those lines. So now let's continue into the last question, which is any advice or healing messages for SHINee this 2025. Any advice in healing? Let's see. So the first card that fell off is first quarter moon. With your commitment is being tested. Let's see what else. And we have South Node with Don't Let Your Past Hold You Back. And to finish off the reading, we have Full Moon in Virgo with You Are Good Enough. So with the first quarter moon, your commitment is being tested. It feels like there's a sense of like not giving up, a sense of if you want something, it's okay to want it, go for it. There is also a sense of taking care of your responsibilities, but also taking care of yourself in order to be able to push through the journey to accomplish something. With your commitment is being tested, I do feel that some of them, the advice here is that the whole idea of like they may feel a bit of pressure, they may feel a bit overwhelmed in the situation that they're in, but it's like if they persevere, they will overcome those problems and accomplish what it is that they want to accomplish. Some of them may feel a bit discouraged and may want to give up in a journey or in a path that they're on. And I think the universe is trying to encourage them to continue pushing forward, because it feels like I'm getting the image of the Nine of Wands, and that's because of the next card that we have here with the South Node, and the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords in tarot usually talks about someone that is in their mental prison, is the whole idea of someone that may be held back by limiting beliefs. I guess we could describe the situation that SHINee's in with a combination of the Eight of Swords that just popped up as the idea of someone that at the moment doesn't, like, they lack the hindsight to fully understand the situation that they're in, and because of that they feel under so much pressure in the present moment that they may want to like throw the towel and like give up. But the whole idea here is like the Eight of Swords usually describes someone that is in a situation where they themselves, they're overthinking, their inability to see the situation for what it is, and someone that is just being so much within their mind to the point that they're not able to see that the situation that they feel trapped in or the stagnation that they're in is temporary, or they don't realize that they can get themselves out of that situation. Now, for the group, the stagnation that they're in is one that they don't really have control over. However, some of them may not see the bigger picture, that the stagnation that they're in is actually a period of them to rest, a period for them to gather themselves together, because apparently with the fiery climax approaches with the full moon in Aries, there is a sense of like there will be a lot of spontaneous opportunities that will come their way, and it will be so unexpected that they will be grateful later that they were resting. But if they don't rest right now, when these opportunities come through, they may be too exhausted or tired to accept these opportunities. And some of them may actually be so busy that they will miss some of these opportunities if they don't actually rest. Now, I'm saying that because we have Minho with the whole idea of like overworking himself. So maybe he's so busy looking in one direction that he doesn't realize that in this other path, these opportunities are coming through that are in better alignment with what he wants and who he is. So the advice here is that right now things are not happening, but it's not like a punishment, and it's not like there's something bad with their manifestations. It's like right now that's the best course of action, and that is something that they should just take advantage of, because the future has has a busy schedule for them. And I think that's why your commitment is being tested here, is just showing that things are still on the works, things are still building up. And that's why the stagnation that the group may feel is there. There's stuff happening in the background that it's outside of their control, and maybe even outside of their knowledge, so they're just not really aware of it. Now, the other card that we have right here with a don't let your past hold you back with the South Node, I mentioned that it reminded me of the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands talks about someone that is extremely cautious because they're still healing a past problem or a past pain or issue that they may have encountered. The Nine of Wands usually shows someone that may be in a bit of a defensive energy, someone that has their guard up, and it's someone that has learned from past mistakes, and because of that they're still in that nervous energy of I don't want to make this mistake again, I don't want to go through this experience again. But they're reaching the healing point though. So it's like someone that is not giving up. Someone that's pushing forward despite that pain, despite that fear, but they're not being reckless about it. So it is definitely a somewhat positive card actually, or I'm seeing it very positive with the energy that we have here with SHINee. So yes, don't let the past hold you back. There is this sense of like if in the past something didn't work out, or if there's issues from the past that it's causing them to rethink things or put resistance to the future that they are working towards. There is a sense of like, right now that the energy is stagnant, working through all of that will be very beneficial for them, because if they work through that, by the time that things actually start picking up or things start moving, they will be in such a good energy that they will be able to just push forward into these opportunities rather than be held back by fear or being held back by the exhausting energy of resisting or the exhausting energy of overthinking this period that they had of break. So I guess the best way I can describe this energy is like, instead of seeing the stagnation energy as just stagnant, like nothing's happening, they should see it as in like, okay, well, things kind of settle down. Let me just work on these other things to heal myself, be in a better position, or be in my best version. Something along those lines. But talking about best versions, let's talk about this full moon in Virgo. So you are good enough just shows that one of the things that the group will benefit a lot with is healing. Getting to know themselves better, understanding that they're worth it, understand that the opportunities that come through are meant for them and it's for their best interest and that they deserve them. Not taking things for granted, not taking their efforts for granted, their work ethic for granted. Is like the effort that they're putting is good enough. They should applaud themselves for it. The work that they're putting in to accomplish their goals is something that they should also celebrate and should be content with, even if they don't get the results that they desire or the results that they expected. They should still congratulate themselves for the effort that they put in it. It's like nothing is in vain. If something doesn't work out, it's a learning experience. If something works out, it's also a learning experience. If you accomplish a goal, celebrate that goal instead of thinking of the next one. It's like, give your like periods of rest and periods of things slowing down is a good time to reflect, heal what has to heal, overcome issues that have to be overcome, and also celebrate the victories that went through. Even celebrate the things that didn't work through, not in a sense of like toxic optimism, but more along the lines of like, okay, that was a learning experience. I guess acknowledging even things that don't work out and seeing that as a learning experience rather than seeing it as a punishment or seeing it as something bad. All of this positivity will definitely help them be ready for when things start picking up again, and then just taking action when it's time to take action rather than still being held back because of all of this negativity and overwhelming energy that some of them could be if they don't work through that. So yeah, the full moon in Virgo is just like the best healing that they can do is taking care of themselves, creating routines, creating healthy habits, creating a healthy way of thinking, a healthy way of doing things, organizing their thoughts, organizing their actions. So I'm just talking about planning for the future, basically, and taking care of all the tedious work that has to get done. And by that, I also mean healing. There are parts of healing that are not that pretty, and one of those parts is looking into the past and be like, okay, so what didn't work out? What didn't I like? What is it that didn't make me happy, or what is it that hurt me, or what is it that disappointed me? Like looking at those emotions that may not be that positive, it's like, let me look at them and let me feel them, work through them, and then slowly learn from them to overcome those issues. So yeah, that is everything for SHINee. I hope you guys like this reading. I hope you guys enjoyed it or learned from it. And again, if not, I hope that you at least found it entertaining. This reading was filled with a lot of growth, a lot of learning. It definitely feels like the group feels stagnant and maybe a little bit hopeless at the moment. But as I mentioned in the healing part of things, it's like that stagnation that they feel is definitely necessary. And if anything, if they change their mindset, they're going to notice that instead of feeling stagnant, it is actually a good opportunity to reflect and grow from it. And if anything, the fiery climax just kind of shows that in their career, a lot of opportunities are going to come through, but they're super spontaneous. And because of that spontaneity, I hope I said that right, that is coming through, they're not going to see these opportunities coming until they're right in front of their faces. And it's like, either you take it or you don't. So yeah, that's what Aries energy is like. It comes out of nowhere. It's very excited, and it's like you have to take advantage of that energy before it like fizzles out, because Aries energy is the type that is like, it's very impulsive. So it's like, I'm going to do it now because I won't have the motivation later, or I may not have the desire to do that later. So it's like, take full advantage of that energy, that spark when it happens, and then do what you can with it. I mean, Aries is also known for starting a lot of new things and not finishing any of them. So with SHINee is this whole idea of like, just take the opportunity and take it as far as it takes you, and everything's just an experience. So nothing lasts forever, and that, yes, that it includes happy moments, but it also includes difficult, challenging moments like right now that they're in. It's like, it won't always be challenging, it won't always feel difficult, right? And the only way that they will notice that is if they go through their healing. So like that, they see this as just an experience that they had to go through rather than see it as a punishment, which is something that was coming up quite often throughout their whole reading. Anyway, I hope you guys learn from this, because I do think this is a life lesson that we could all take with us and that we can apply it to our personal situations. Anyway, I will leave this here. I'll see you in the next one, whenever that is, however that is. Thank you for all the love and support you have shown me and the channel, and make sure that you show a lot of support to SHINee if they ever take anything out together. And if not, make sure that you also support all of their individual projects, since all of them have been taking out music, so I'm pretty happy about that, so I can like jump around and listen to see what everyone is doing. So yeah, I'll leave this here. Love and healing from my part to you, and